We're going to try and do 10 minutes. So when we're halfway, I'll go 5. Okay?
I'll try.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
Hey, happy New Year. What am I, fucking nuts? Welcome. Having coffee with Cullotta. Prescribe to this. All right? You hear what I said? Subscribe, prescribe, whatever it is. Do what you got to do.
Wait a second. Let's change your hat.
I got to change.
Yeah, let's do a different hat.
Cullotta, Cullotta, grab your favorite brew. Ask a question, he'll answer it for you. The Mafia, the Mafia, the Mafia, the Mafia. You better hit prescribe if you know what's good for you. Drinking a cup of coffee with Frank Cullotta. He'll tell you a lot. He's Frank Cullotta.
I read you a letter the other day that a gentleman wrote.
Yes.
And I reached out to that guy. And he knew Frank from when Frank he knew Frank from way back before you and I even met him.
Oh yeah, that was a witness protection.
Well, he was still in witness protection.
Was he?
He was in and out. He was still hiding. Let's say that, okay?
Yeah.
Because this was before the Family Secrets trial happened. Okay, a decade before the Family Secrets trial happened. So we're talking like in 95, 96, when he did Casino, had already been out. But now he's working as a limo driver for this guy, and he doesn't tell him who he is, anything about his background, until a decade later. He knew Frank in a completely different light than what we did. I mean, this guy went to church with Frank, and this guy, had a lot of talks with Frank.
Yes.
Which
yeah, I know about that.
I had some talks with him at the end, very end, and like I said, Frank even prayed. He prayed for me while we were sitting there. Bless this man, please, Lord, bless this man. I mean, he just out loud, and he was sincere. And I shared that with this gentleman, and because it moved me, and I thought that it would, maybe move him. But I saw definitely through the years kind of a change in Frank. And I know as you get a little older, maybe you slow down a little bit or something. But Frank didn't seem to really slow down, but he definitely opened up more. And he opened up more about his feelings and his thoughts, and we saw that happen. And I think that's really the story that we're going to be telling.
Trying to promote, yes.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about and telling.
The word love was flying around at the end with this guy.
It was.
And it was. Because even Joey told me his text he got. I love you, brother. I love you, son. I love you, Adam. I love you. Those are the words that you heard. Now, that's why it's kind of like, it's kind of hard for me to, sit here and kind of talk about the man that, because like I said, I met the man. I didn't meet the Frank Cullotta, what they're saying, because we had a lot of good times. We had a lot of good times. Did a lot of stuff for him. We did a lot. The Mob Museum. We did a lot of the Mob Museum. Did a lot of, and like I was telling you when it came to like 2 years ago, he really wanted to go to a certain doctor in Tucson, Arizona. I didn't hesitate. I had a sick animal at the house, but I took him. He needed to go, and we went, and we took care of that problem. So, in other words, I was the go guy. When he needs it, we went. No ands, no buts. And I think he appreciates me for doing that, to drop everything, and if I had to do it again, I'll do it again. I'll tell you that much. Sometimes you tell myself, but
Didn't you tell me once though about that when you went down to Arizona? Go ahead, tell me the story again.
We went to Arizona. I think we went 5 a.m. We went to Arizona. We started driving to Tucson, Arizona. We got there like around 7:00. Had dinner, and then we went to bed because we're gonna go see the doctor the next day. Well, lo and behold, 2 a.m, he can't breathe. Okay. He was having a hard time. He wanted me to drive him to the doctor, and I told him, he goes, we're not going to drive you to the doctor. We're calling the ambulance right now.
Okay.
So we got the ambulance. He was admitted right away. And at 4:00 a.m, they said, he's doing fine. He's stable. He's going to be in good hands. Even Frank told me, Louis, I'm going to be here for a little while. I need you to go home and, relax, do what you need to do. Take my car, Okay, fine. So at 5 a.m, I'm driving back to Vegas. As soon as I get there, I fall asleep. 5:00 in the afternoon, he calls me up and he says, you need to pick me up tomorrow. I just got here. And
go
I
to
got-
sleep again,
go
and then
to-
get up and then drive back.
So what I did is I told him like this: I'm gonna go back to sleep, and then he said I'm gonna call Dino. Maybe we
Okay.
can have Dino one day here.
Okay, that'd be
He
cool.
goes, Dino, he has stories. And Dino called me up. He goes, Frank called me up and he says, you need help on driving. I don't need help on driving, but at this moment I do. Because I didn't sleep, you know. So he came and he picked me up at, I don't know, we took off I think at 12 midnight or 1 in the morning. I can't
Okay.
really remember. We're driving. This guy was tired. He fell asleep somewhere in Kingman. And I'm
Okay.
sitting there at the Carl Jr. going like this, when are we going? I got the wheel, shot over there back to Tucson. We got to Tucson, we got there in the morning, early in the morning, and they're gonna let him out at 10 or 11 o'clock. So me and him are just sitting there waiting for him. Lo and behold, he gets out. We get back in the car. We didn't go to dinner, nothing, man. We just got back on the road and left, came back to Las Vegas. So now, that's a lot of hours for driving for me, you know? I made Dino drive the rest of the way. I couldn't handle it no more. I go like this. That was it. 3 times? No. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I went 3 times. I went 3 times to Tucson, Arizona. That was a lot of hours. And then I let him take over. Now, mind you, when we're driving, we have the words of wisdom from Frank. You can't do that. Why are you driving faster? Why?
Oh no!
And then I got Dino saying, he goes, I'm hungry. Oh shit, now we have to stop. We gotta get gas. We're going back and forth. So I got 2 people on my head and go, I just want to sleep. I just want to sleep. So that went on with that story.
Wow! But you did all that for Frank.
You
were
know,
always there
I did
for-
it because I love the guy. You know, but there's only one regret. I think I should have bought some earplugs. I know what to do. I know where to go.
Somebody on the channel, one of the prescribers said that they said, Adam, you must be a patience of a saint to put up with Frank, because near the end there, he got a
you
little
were
cranky
there.
with me,
Yeah.
and then he apologized to me, and then and then he asked me to forgive him, and I think you had a similar experience.
I had a similar
too.
experience before you see before the covert hit him. We had several arguments, and he told me to forgive him for what he has said to me, and I go, of course I forgive you. You're like my dad, and I left it that way because he wasn't a man with many words. It was a direct. Louis, I say this because you're like a son to me. And I say this because I don't want you to make mistakes. I just want you to do it right. But I want to also tell you, I see that you're trying to correct yourself. And I want to tell you, I'm sorry if I irritated you and this and that like this. I understand. I just love you, Frankie. He's a good guy, But I understood because, what am I going to do? Go over there and give him a big hug? Hugs. He wasn't into hugs. He wasn't into kissing cheeks. And when you give him, he has to make the first effort to give you a handshake. Never shake the man's hand unless he shakes your hand. But he did reach out one day after the hospital, way before this happened. He actually stuck his hand out to shake my hand, and I was completely surprised and floored.
Yeah.
But guess what? I took his hand and I shook it and looked him right in the eye, and I accepted that. And that to me was a pleasure, that I shook his hand, because he wasn't a guy that believed in all that ritual stuff, handshake, kissing, and he thought it was baloney. But I know that if he did, it was sincere. It came from his heart, and that I do know, and I do admire that of Frank, and I loved him for it. I know that he looked at me a certain way sometimes, but I think he looked at everybody that way.
Sure.
He was like, he's back from the old days, like his brother Joe says, because you got to understand, he's a product of his environment, that's the way he is. Joe's different, you're different, I'm different, but he tried his best. I think he had a lot of struggles, from his life before to his life now, or until the end of his days. Because this is what he did. Now he had to change his life. Became an author, a writer, movie star, everything. YouTuber.
Yeah.
This guy went all the way to the end for $1. Can I say that?
Sure.
All the way to the end, he went for $1, and you know what? I admire that much. He he put me on the straight and narrow. I have to admit that, you know.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this much: sometimes there was things that I have done after, you know, when I met Frank, I started changing my ways. Like we were saying, if you did something, if he tells you to do something, he'll tell you right there, repeat it.
Oh.
Repeat it. You got to repeat it. And after you do it, when you come back, he wants you to, what did you do? Always wanted to hear that. It's like 3 confirmations that he was always looking for.
Okay. So I actually recorded a phone call. This is near the end. I'm not going to tell you what he asked me to repeat to him because that's irrelevant. But he did say that to me. He said, I want you to repeat this to me 3 times. He didn't say that. He said, I want you to repeat this to me 3 times.
3 times.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
3 times.
Take 3 times.
Say 3 times, okay?
4 times.
I understand. Crystal clear. That's 3. And I promise. That's 4. Got it?
Yep. That's 2 times.
Okay, I understand completely.
There you're back.
Yeah, we're going to swoop you up. I still haven't cleaned out my car. I got to go clean out my car. I don't want to pick you up.
How about my car?
I haven't gotten your car. Louis got your keys, though. I could ask him to bring it over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It's not doing any good over there.
He made me repeat it lots of times. And I'll tell you this much. It got to the point that he stopped asking.
You just started doing
it. Like, you know, when he was talking to me, the last thing he told me to do, he couldn't speak on Tuesday. He was having a hard time, but I caught a couple things. Banking. Okay? Banking. I already knew exactly. And this is what I said to him. Frank, I'm going to let you go because I know you need a rest. I'll take care of your banking. And the next day I was here, right?
Yeah, because I talked to him that same day. It was the last day I talked to him.
So that's what he was trying to say.
And the last thing he said to me, I'm sitting there telling him about Chevy Girl, writing about how this 31-year-old chick on one of the prescribers wants to jump his bones. I thought it would cheer him up a little, you know, maybe perk him, maybe get him, you know, feeling better.
There was one time that I had to go make a pickup for him of $10,000.
Thanks for watching this video, everyone. Please be sure to visit frankcullotta.com for coffee cups and t-shirts. Also, hit the like button, share this video. Oh, and don't forget to
hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. I found gold. I hope you enjoyed yourself. God bless.